Listen, Prince Harry could lose everything. He's not flying to London for tea and cookies. He's on that plane in total panic mode. And sources say this trip wasn't planned. It was sudden. Apparently, word got to Montecito that Buckingham Palace was moving forward with plans to take away the Duke and Duchess of Sussex titles from Harry and Meghan. Yes, the titles that show who they are, who their kids are, and honestly, the last piece, connecting them to that royal shine. The second Harry heard, insiders say his whole team went crazy. He wanted the first flight out, no PR tricks, no public announcement, no big deal, just him, a private plane, and a desperate mission to save what's left of his royal identity. And here's the crazy part. The person he's rushing to talk to isn't even his dad. Nope, it's his brother. Because while King Charles is quietly fighting cancer and staying out of drama, Prince William has officially taken control, and William has made it super clear he's cleaning house. Palace rumors say Harry wants a face-to-face meeting with both his dad and brother before anything becomes official. He's even ready to admit he messed up, hoping that being humble might earn him one last royal lifeline. But here's the thing, the palace hasn't confirmed a single detail about Harry's visit. No welcome, no public statement, nothing. And when Buckingham Palace goes that quiet, it usually means one thing. They're not happy he's coming. So, as Harry's plane cuts through the clouds toward London, one truth becomes impossible to ignore. He's not just flying home, he's flying straight into a royal showdown. Behind those palace walls, something major has changed, and most of the world has no idea. Charles may still wear the crown, but William, he's the one running the kingdom. Insiders have started calling this the pre-succession period. Royal code for William's already calling the shots. King Charles's sickness has made him softer, quieter, and more emotional. But William isn't here for feelings. He's here for results. William isn't talking about forgiveness or family. He's talking about protecting the brand, money issues, and survival. To William, the monarchy isn't just a family. It's a business. And lately, that business has been losing its good name. Every scandal, every tell-all book, every Netflix confession, it all points to one name. And with Charles too sick to step in, William's decided it's time to take control. He's already meeting with advisors, writing up reforms, changing how the monarchy works. If you want to know when his patience finally broke, 2 words. Guys, the Yorks. Prince Andrew and Sarah Fergie Ferguson have turned royal embarrassment into a competition. The Epstein story is back in the news, and this time it's worse. Behind palace doors, whispers say more emails are about to come out, ones that could connect Andrew, not just to Epstein socially, but with money. There are even claims that Scotland Yard may have been used to run a smear campaign against Virginia Roberts, one of Epstein's accusers. And then there's Fergie. Oh, Fergie. According to insiders, she allegedly took over £2 million from Epstein, possibly way more. Some even say Epstein quietly paid for her lifestyle for nearly 15 years. If that's true, it's huge, because that means she wasn't just ignoring what was happening. She was letting her own reputation and the royal name be paid for by scandal money. Now, imagine William sitting in Kensington Palace reading all of this. His jaw tightens, his hand clenches, and he realizes that the problem isn't just in the newspapers, it's inside the family. So, he does what no one else dares to do. He starts cleaning house. Here's where it gets interesting, because when William gets serious, he doesn't yell. He gets lawyers. Behind those palace gates, the drama is intense. Sources claim William has quietly put together a team of legal experts, the kind who speak in phrases like constitutional clause and title removal. Remember that petition the public started months ago to strip the Sussexes of their titles? Parliament brushed it off at the time, saying only the king could do that. Well, guess who's making sure the next king can? Allegedly, palace lawyers are writing up documents. The ideas start with Prince Andrew. Strip his titles first to create a legal path, then use that same process on Harry and Meghan. That way, no one can say it's personal revenge. It's clean, it's calculated, it's cold. And get this, word from the halls of Westminster is that members of Parliament are quietly backing William. They want a cleaner crown, a modern monarchy that actually follows the rules it preaches. So, while Harry is crossing the Atlantic, hoping for a family talk, William is building a legal case that looks less like brother drama and more like a business takeover. The Crown, it seems, is preparing to file its paperwork. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Meghan is doing what Meghan does best, turning headlines into business. Insiders say Meghan's getting ready to launch her very own makeup line, a move that's sending Buckingham Palace into quiet panic. Because remember, the late Queen specifically told her not to use royal titles to make money. But Meghan, she's doing exactly that. And the twist? Allegedly, Meghan has legally changed her last name to Duchess of Sussex, not as a title, as a last name. Meaning, even if the palace strips her of the title, she can still sign business deals as Meghan Duchess of Sussex. It's bold. It's clever. It's pure Hollywood boldness wrapped in royal style. William, however, isn't happy. Sources whisper he's already moved to block any trademark that connects Duchess of Sussex to business use. Translation: if Meghan tries to put that name on lipsticks or lotions, palace lawyers are ready to attack. And that Diana watch she used to show off in every interview photo. Gone, apparently, William put his foot down. No more royal family treasures being used as fashion accessories. So now you have Meghan in Montecito, reportedly angry behind those glass walls, and William in London, quietly turning her empire of image into a legal problem. The late Queen warned her not to play the game. William's making sure she never gets to win it. Back in London, the temperature drops every time those two names are mentioned in the same sentence. When Harry learned William was preparing the paperwork, sources say he went into full crisis mode. Forget emails or voice messages. He wants to see his brother face to face. Apologize, appeal to family, maybe even beg if he has to. But the palace insiders are honest. William's not interested in tears. He's interested in order. As one palace worker allegedly put it, William doesn't want an explanation. He wants an example, meaning if Harry wants mercy, he has to prove it. Stop the public attacks, pull back the memoir, distance himself from Meghan's business projects. Basically, become the quiet royal he once refused to be. But can you imagine that conversation? On one side, Harry, desperate, emotional, still believing family comes before the institution. On the other, William, the future king, treating his own brother like a PR problem to be fixed. The tension is explosive. Palace staff are whispering about the meeting that could decide the monarchy's future. Because if William doesn't give in, and he rarely does, this may be the moment the Windsor brothers become history's coldest royal split. Picture King Charles sitting alone in his study, teacup shaking ever so slightly. He's not just fighting sickness, he's fighting loyalty. On one hand, his heart still hurts for Harry, the son who lost his mother and his way. On the other, his crown demands stability. Word inside the palace is that Charles has become the quiet peacekeeper, asking for reconciliation while his heir sharpens the axe. But here's the problem. Parliament's patience is running out. According to insiders, senior officials have warned Charles that unless he fixes the monarchy's image, they'll start tightening constitutional rules. Translation: the government won't let another royal crisis damage the crown. So now Charles faces an impossible choice. Protect his son, or protect the institution that defines his entire life. And when he looks at William, he sees the future. Strong, decisive, firm. When he looks at Harry, he sees the past, emotional, unpredictable, vulnerable. For Charles, it's a battle between love and legacy. And in that palace, legacy always wins. Let's talk about what happens if William actually goes through with it. Once those papers are signed, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will disappear like a deleted file from the royal website. Harry becomes Henry Charles. Albert David Mountbatten Windsor. Meghan becomes Mrs. Mountbatten Windsor. Archie and Lilibet lose their little prince and princess titles. Insiders say the moment those names are erased, their entire brand falls apart. No title means no royal security, fewer invitations, and a huge drop in value. All those book deals, Netflix contracts, and brand partnerships. They weren't just buying Harry and Meghan. They were buying the Duke and Duchess. For Meghan, it's a branding nightmare. For Harry, it's an identity crisis. He's built a life outside the palace, but he's never stopped being defined by it. So, when those titles go, so does the last link to the world he was born into. As one royal assistant allegedly said, without their titles. They're just another celebrity couple with a podcast and a past, and that's what scares them most. As morning light hits Buckingham Palace, the story comes full circle. One brother sits behind palace walls, shaping the future of a 1,000-year dynasty. The other wakes up in California, realizing the dynasty has moved on without him. The royal website, when updated, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex are no more. No announcement, no ceremony, just the quiet click of delete. Across the Atlantic, Meghan reportedly stares at her phone, refreshing the site, disbelief crossing her face. For years, she built a brand around that title. Now it's gone, like it never existed. Harry, meanwhile, is left with the echo of his last conversation with William. A cold stare that said everything words never could. But make no mistake, this isn't just an ending. It's the start of a new royal era. William's cleanup has reshaped the monarchy into something sharper, colder. The age of letting things slide is over. The age of holding people accountable has begun. And as new dawn spreads over Buckingham Palace, bathed in gold morning light, one truth remains. The crown survived, but the family did not. Because in the end, power doesn't whisper, it reigns. And William, with steady hands and ice in his veins, just proved he's not waiting for the throne. He's already wearing it.